Can you help us on the new Pyrrolite component? Okay. Pyrrolite component blueprint. First, here are the materials you will need. Pause the video if you need to. Now to begin, make sure to have 4 conduit outlets ready beside your base, and we will connect each one to a water, acid, energen, and Xiranite. First, let's connect the one to the water. Right over here, there's a water source nearby. You only need 1 pump, but for the sake of formality, let's do 2 pumps. Place one over here, and then a converger going into the inlet. Connect both fluid pumps going into the inlet. There we go. Now make sure to connect. Now we have water. And if you didn't know, there's actually an acid pool right over here. For this one, we only need 1 pump connected to an inlet. So let's do that. There we go. And then let's connect this one to the one near the base. Next, we need energen. There's one nearby over here. Now for this one, you can actually connect all 6 to a single inlet because energen is actually slower than, or rather the gas extractors are slower than fluid pumps. So having 1 inlet here is more than enough. Let's connect all 6 into them. First, place a converger over here, facing this direction. And then another converger over here, facing this direction. Then let's connect all 3. Make sure this one goes from this direction. This one enters from here. And then this one enters on this side. Now for these 3, do the same thing, 1 on each side. There you go. Connect this one over here. And then place down another converger right over on this spot going into the inlet. And then connect both convergers into this one. Then go into the inlet. Make sure to connect. And there we go. Now let's connect the Xiranite. Now for the Xiranite, we actually need to walk all the way onto this spot right over here. So let's take this and run over there. And then, as usual, a converger for both going into the inlet. Place it here, then connect both going into the inlet. And there we have it. Now let's go back to base. Now that we are back here at the base, you can see that all 4 resources are over here on the left, and then we have the AIC on the bottom left. We can start by going onto the top right and place down a depot bus port over here. 4 spaces down, place it right over here. And then take a depot bus section, place it over here. There's 2 spaces right there. And then make sure to go all the way to the left. Now that we have that, take a Xiranite pylon, place 5 of them right over here in a straight line. This is just to count. And then make sure there's 1 space left over here. And then place a depot bus port right over here. Remember, 1 space. And then, next, we put more depot bus sections, similar to this, but it's mirrored, so place it on the bottom right here, going all the way to the left. Now that we are done with the depot bus port and the resources, we can start with the actual build. Now that we have the depot buses ready, let's remove the Xiranite pylons over here on the right. And then, let's take the Xiranite conduit outlet, and place it on the top left over here. Take a depot unloader, place it over here next to the outlet, and then output cuprium, and then copy it 3 times. Now, place another depot unloader over here, outputting separator cores, and then another depot unloader with 3 spaces to the right over here. Make sure to leave 3 spaces. Output Xiranite on this one. There we go. Now, to start with the buildings, let's take a solid to gas transmuting unit and place it over here. Make sure to leave 2 spaces. And then place another one right over here. 1 space in between. Purification, also 1 space. Another solid to gas over here. 1 space as well. And then a gas reactor globe over here. And then another solid to gas transmuting over here, but make sure to switch it to solidify. There we go. Now, take your gas dispersing unit, place it on the lower left corner of the purification unit with the opening on the left, and then another one below the gas reactor globe on the right corner with the opening on the right. Now, take a fitting unit and place it over here. Make sure to leave 2 spaces here, aligned like this. And then a fluid to gas conversion right over here. Rotate twice so that the opening can go to the gas dispersing unit. Now, let's take our energen and place it over here. Connect it straight to the gas dispersing unit. And then take the acid one and place it above the fluid transmuting unit. Place it here and connect it like this. Now let's power with pylons over here, and over here, and finally over here. Now let's connect the pipes. For the pipes, let's start with the conduit outlet of the Xiranite. To do this, we connect it to the first one, to the second one, to the third one, and then to the fourth one. Now take a pipe splitter, face it to the right, place it above this one, and then above this one. Now we have all of them ready. Now place a pipe control port over here, and then make sure to choose Xiranite, turn on adjust flow, switch it to 6 units per minute, and then copy this and then paste it onto the others. There we go. Now let's connect the unloaders to the solid gas, the separator core to the purification unit, and then the Xiranite to this one. Everything below them. Now, place a pipe converger going into the purification unit, and then make sure to connect both of these into one purification unit. So let's do that. Click this, click here, into the converger, the bottom one over here. Make sure to click on this spot, going into the converger. Now the Xiranite gas will go straight into the gas reactor globe, so click it over here. Make sure to place a converger over here, going downwards, and output 2 from the Xiranite gas, because this one outputs 2 Xiranite gas every time. Now, for the Xiranite, just connect it straight. There you go. And then the gas reactor globe just goes straight into this one. Now, for the solid gas, just make sure to input it into the fitting unit, and then place a depot loader below the fitting unit over here and connect it like this. Make sure to follow the same way as I did it. Now we're done with the first part of the build. Now that we are done with the top half, let's proceed with the bottom half. For this one, we need to rotate the screen, and then take our water supply and place it all the way to the left over here. Now, place a depot unloader over here. Make sure to output Xiranite. There we go. Then place a reactor crucible over here, and then connect the Xiranite like this, and the water like this. Now before we proceed with the pipes, let's place down all the buildings first. Take your fluid to gas transmuting unit and place it over here, above the gas dispersing unit, and then next to it, 2 solid gas with 1 space in between, another one here, and then a purification unit over here, and then another solid to gas, but make sure to turn it to solidify mode on the last one. Now, take your Xiranite unloader, copy it, and paste it above this one and this one. Now, place another depot unloader above the purification unit, and make sure it's outputting separator cores. There we go. Connect all of them with the belts. And then, this solid to gas transmuting unit should be connected to a loader over here. So let's do that. There we go. Now, let's proceed with the pipe work. For this one, make sure to output liquid Xiranite on the orange pipe, and then connect it, click it here first, and then go to this one. Then take your pipe splitters facing to the right, click over here and over here, connect it. From this splitter, click here going into this opening, and then click here going into this opening above. Now take 2 pipe control ports, place it over this one and this one. Both of them, make sure to choose liquid Xiranite and turn on adjust flow, and set it to 6 per minute. There we go. Now that we have that set up, our Xiragen should be ready. Let's click here, above, over here, goes to this one, and this one. Make sure to place pipe splitters facing to the right, above this one, and that should be good. Now from here, make sure to place a pipe control port over here and over here. This one on the bottom will have Xiranite and adjust flow on 6 per minute. The one above will have Xiranite as well, but 12 units per minute. This is so we can bridge pipes here later. Now, let's connect this one. Make sure to click here, go straight over here, click again, into the purification unit. Now over here, place a pipe converger going into the purification unit, and then connect this one from the pipe below. There we go. Now the purification unit just connects to this one, and that should be ready. Now we have the heavy Xiranite working, as well as the Pyrrolite part. Now the last step would be to place a gearing unit over here on the top. So let's do that one. Take a gearing unit, place it over here facing to the right. By the way, I rotated my screen again. And then place 2 depot unloaders over here and over here. Either of them, at least 1 Pyrrolite part, and then 1 heavy Xiranite. There we go. Connect both of them to the gearing unit, and then take a depot loader, place it over here, and then connect it like this. And that should be it for the build. Anyways, that will be all. Goodbye. If you find it helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you very much.